Hello and welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Top, and with me this week is Shoban. Hey man, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's been a bit of a crazy day. I woke up and I was like, I want pancakes. Considering I made pancake batter yesterday, it was kind of convenient.
Right.
And yeah, I had like 3 pancakes with peanut butter on the bottom one, then chocolate in between the second and third one, and then on top of the third one, like, we've got a bottle of the maple syrup that Ken made. So I had that over the top as well. I was like, oh, this is delicious. What a fantastic breakfast.
Whoa.
So yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, last night Rachel and I went out to her Christmas works party.
Okay.
And we went bowling and did some laser tag. So all in all, we had a good time.
All right.
I am not good at bowling. Not at all.
Oh, really?
Rachel broke 100. I was like, yes, awesome, well done. And I got 46. Yes.
Well, that's the thing with bowling, right? It's like you're either good at it or it's just you're having such a bad time where it's like every time you try to do anything, it just gutter, missing like 2, gutter. It's terrible.
Yeah. In the second game, like, that we only got like midway through, I put the bumpers up because I was like, well, I'm clearly trash, so no one will complain. And then, shockingly, I started doing better, as if there was a reason for it. So, yeah, that was fun. But yeah, I got to meet a load of her co-workers and like their partners and some of the kids as well. So.
Okay.
That was a cool time. It was really hectic and really busy. We went to this bowling alley and there were like there's like 8 private lanes and we were on like 5 of them.
Jeez.
And then there's like, I don't know, 40 or so like regular lanes, and when we got there it was like every single one was full. So it was a busy place. And then we played laser tag and that was a lot of fun. I came like 3rd on my team, and it was adults versus kids, and that was a lot of fun because the kids don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
But yeah, what have you been up to recently?
In general, so it's work has just been crazy. I guess it's the season where companies are like, okay, we're starting fresh, so we want to have everything from our banks. So we're just going around being like, okay, yeah, sure, let's put this, and how about this and this? And they're like, yep, sign everything up. We want it tomorrow. And we're like, okay, let's try to do something. But, yeah, so it's been busy that way. And then on top of that, next year is going to be so hectic because I have so many weddings I have to go to. So it's just been sort of planning and preparing for that. I haven't even gotten my vacation prepared yet for next year, but I already have to, I guess, book everything. I have a wedding to go to every weekend from August to October. So it's like, what do I do? Like, how do I take time off? Where do I go? Some of them are out of the country. Some of them are in like a couple provinces over. So it's like trying to plan like travel arrangements and like figure out where to go where. It's a bit hectic, but
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's like I guess I'm at that age now where everybody's getting married and settling down. So it's like, okay, to try to do this, try to get everything done. Let's go. So, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I can imagine. Yeah, like taking every weekend from you. Oh, that's gonna be crazy, right?
And it's like I'm just thinking about all the driving I have to do because most of my friends are where I'm originally from, and where I work right now, it's about a 3.5-hour drive.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, so Fridays I have to leave like Friday night immediately after work. Saturday's basically the entire day for the wedding, and then I have to drive back Sunday. So and I have to do that for 3 months straight, just back and forth.
Ouch,
like,
ouch. Oh, dear.
Gonna get a lot of driving in next year.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've been driving a lot actually recently.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm borrowing Rachel's parents' Mercedes. It's like a '93 So it's what, 24 years old?
Yeah, about
It's this old Mercedes 300T, and ooh, it just feels like a tank. So I'm just like driving along. It's a little floaty, and ooh, it's like it's fun to drive. But,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do you find like driving in America versus driving in the UK?
Yeah, it's certainly different, but like, so the way my brain tends to work is like it will put things in. This is its own experience.
Right.
So I know roughly how to drive any car, but because it's on the other side of the road, it's kind of like I've sort of like done a little relearning of how to drive, and I feel like when I go back, I'll just be able to like get in the car and drive immediately. And here, it just feels like what I've done so far is just practice on like how to drive, and I haven't really found any significant differences because I don't pay attention to them.
Right.
Because it feels like something entirely different, even though it's identical.
Of
really.
course.
So I really haven't thought about them in like a similar way, and also the cars that I've driven are very, very different.
Yeah, definitely.
Because my car at home has a manual gearbox, whereas this one's automatic. So
right.
That, I don't know, alleviates some of the pressures of trying to drive over here as well.
For sure.
So I don't need to faff around with the clutch and the gearbox. Whereas at home, that's like part of the course. That's just what I do every time. And
exactly.
That's how I learned. So that also just helps me differentiate. I haven't got onto the road and realised that I'm on the wrong side of it, so something must be fine.
Well, that I feel like because my dad sort of does the same thing as well, because he was in the UK during the 70s and everything, and he went to school over there, and then and even in back home in Sri Lanka, like it's the same way as in the UK. It's all on the it's all basically reversed from the Americas. So he still drives on both sides. Like he drives around here normally, and then during the wintertime he'll like go over just because it's a little bit warmer in Sri Lanka, and he'll drive there as well. And then when he visits his brother in the UK, he'll drive because he still has his old license, because that's not expiring till I think like 2026. And I'm like, how did you get a license that goes for like 30 years?
That's just how it used to be.
Yeah. So it was but he says, if you compartmentalize it, you could treat it as two separate instances. And when he's over there, it's all manual, versus here he just has automatic transmission. So he can he could. It's easier for him to differentiate.
Yeah, I guess it's the same for me.
Yeah, it's
it certainly sounds like it.
Yeah. I guess I've never really driven with the driver's side on the right side, so I've never had I guess I've never really stepped in that situation, but I assume it should be fairly straightforward, because I mean it's not even like you're driving on the road by yourself and no one's around you. Like, you have other people following the rules, so it's easier to kind of just jump in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Cool. Yeah. So I've been doing lots of driving around because it's been a case of Christmas is coming up, and I've been doing a bunch of gift shopping.
Right.
And the thing I tend to do is go to shops and wander around, and then be like, oh, that's cool, and then pick up ideas from there as to like what people want.
Right.
So doing that to try and find some ideas and like get gifts for people seems to work for me, and that's how I found a bunch of gifts this year.
Perfect.
I've actually had a real good time doing it. And driving out to places and then just doing that has been really, I don't know, quite refreshing.
Okay.
Just to be like, yes, I'll get some ideas. But yeah, I don't know. It's been a good time.
Nice.
I've enjoyed that. Cool. Let's talk about Destiny 2, because I've been playing a little bit of it, right?
Right.
Have you been playing much of it?
I downloaded it, but I haven't been able to jump in and play yet. So I've heard there's been some some interesting things going on about it right now.
Yeah. Okay. So the DLC, the story itself is good. I liked it, but there's also been some changes to the game. There's actually more changes coming on Tuesday as well. So like the patch that they've been working on, like didn't make it for the DLC release, but it's coming 1 week after. So anyone I know that's got the DLC, I've said to them, just wait until the DLC, like the patch comes out on Tuesday, then play after then.
Right.
Because the rewards will be, I don't know, altered, I guess, from what they would be over this week.
Right.
I've only ran through the DLC on one of my characters, so I know like roughly what I'm doing with that character.
Right.
But the other two I'm going to wait until the patch has come out, and maybe there's some other changes that have come out as well. Because at the moment it's not very rewarding to play for me, because it's not that it's unrewarding, it's that like if I wanted to play with people who didn't have the DLC, they now can't play some of the activities because they're locked out to people who have the DLC.
Right.
A problem that comes along with that is that you can't achieve all of the achievements and trophies that are in the game for the vanilla version of the game without the DLC, because they've removed access to those activities. And it looks like you can't do the raid without the DLC, although it says the suggested light level is 300 for the raid. People have found that they stopped making, or have stopped making any progress towards 300 light, because that requires a higher level than the base game gets you to. So you get to level 20 in the base game, then you level up the light to get to 300 or 305, which was the max before the DLC came out.
Right.
And now people are reporting that it's actually impossible to get to 300 light without buying the DLC, because the higher light levels are blocked off to higher like base levels, being levels 21 to 25. Which seems a bit ridiculous.
A little bit.
People now can't finish the game and complete all the activities that were there in the original version of the game because they've been stripped away.
Right.
Then there's been messages sent to Sony and Microsoft and Blizzard, I think.
So,
it's through the Blizzard launcher.
Yeah.
Where people have said, we're actually unable to complete this game now because they've changed how the in-game stuff works. To which the representatives from those places have been like, please contact Bungie about this, but we're also unhappy with the situation, so we're going to investigate. Which means that there's some tension in the community about the fact that the game is somewhat unrewarding, and it feels like you have to pay extra money to actually access the whole game, even though it's changed from when it was initially released. In year 1 of Destiny 1, people are somehow comparing it to year 1 of Destiny 1. But it's not the same, because in year 1 you still had the Vault of Glass at level 26 and level 30, whereas, and then like the new raid came out at level 32, level 30 and 33, which they shouldn't have done because 33 was a level higher and the light system was different. Anyway, and then then the final DLC came out. The end game things there were 30, 32, 34, and 35. I don't think that's right. I don't think the first one was 30. Anyway, that's beside the point. It meant that you could still play the vanilla game, do the Vault of Glass at level 26 and level 30 without needing the DLC. So the core game was still intact, and it didn't change anything surrounding that. They've also made it impossible to complete the Nightfall without having the DLC at the Prestige to get the achievement from that.
Oh, jeez.
So the Prestige light level has been bumped up. The Nightfall is inaccessible in general because it might involve the DLC strikes that they've just implemented into the game. And overall people aren't particularly pleased about all the changes that have gone on. It still feels unrewarding. It feels like there was a step back from where Destiny 1 was towards Destiny 2. Like, all the quality of life improvements that were added into the game just seem to be not missing and not communicated over to the new game. So as it is right now, it's rather unrewarding, and there's a whole kerfuffle going on in the community, and I guess in the wider place, where I've seen many people on Reddit, in not even the Destiny subreddit, but the gaming subreddit, just saying, don't get your kids Destiny 2, because it is not worth it right now. Maybe next year it will be great, but right now it is not worth anyone playing. So it's it's a difficult situation. I certainly wouldn't recommend it to any of my friends at the moment.
Right. No, that.
I'd like.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've got some friends in the Good Guy Gamers who are just like, yeah, we're gonna get it. It's a lot of fun. I was like, don't get it just yet, because you're not gonna be able to do everything, because it's not available. And they're just like, no, it's really pretty and everything. I'm just like, yeah, but it's broken. And so yeah, there's it's a bit of a challenging time, because as much as I liked Destiny 1 and how much I like playing Destiny 2, it's just not rewarding, and it's not particularly enjoyable. And I think it really does need a serious looking at. But whether that actually happens or not is a different issue. Right. It's not really been addressed by Bungie, to my mind, yet. But it could well have been, or could well be in the next few days. Especially with the increasing pressure from the community and gaming subreddits and their own forums, and the fact that they've got Sony, Microsoft, and Blizzard on their backs about it. Hopefully, it will lead to some better transparency about how the game's going to evolve going forwards.
Definitely.
Because the state it's in right now is very poor, and I'd say it's a step backwards. I would encourage people not to promote that by, say, purchasing the game or the DLC.
Right.
I bought the season pass, so I've already paid for it. I paid for it ages ago. I knew I was going to play it.
Of course.
But it's hard to be like, yeah, I'm playing it, but telling other people don't play it is, I don't know, it seems counterintuitive.
For sure. I feel like all the major companies the past couple months have just been doing a terrible job with their games, or at least there's been something going on, and if it wasn't this DLC issue for Destiny, wasn't it the whole
it's the microtransactions for EA's Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yep. And that one, because when I first got the game and I was playing it, which I think we talked about last time, it was fun, and the campaign's good or whatever, but mostly I use it for multiplayer.
Yeah.
It was cool playing a little bit. Obviously, you'd get kind of ripped apart just because you're new at the game. You don't know what's going on. You're trying to learn everything on the fly. But now that I've put a couple hours into it, I can tell 100% when people have bought basically paid to win versus people doing it organically, because I'll try to shoot a guy and it won't he'll get hit or whatever, and then he'll turn around and then he'll just one-shot me. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess that's happening. Whatever. And the experience points and everything that you try to get in the game does not help at all. I primarily play one specific type of class, and no matter what, every time I level up, it levels up everyone else, except the class that I want to play. The classes that I haven't touched, it's oh yeah, they're level 8. Oh, this other class that you don't play, they're level 10. What's your class you play? Level 2. Even though that's the only class you play, you're still at level 2 and you won't progress. And it's what do you... How does your system work? So I just, honestly, at that point, I just got frustrated, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. It's so broken right now. It just... There's no point in me actually trying to sit down and play it. And I feel like I've even noticed it's been getting the wait times to get loaded into a game has been getting longer and longer as days have gone by. So you could definitely tell there's a mass exodus from that game happening.
Yeah. It felt, I don't know. I'm not going to say it felt the same way in Destiny, but the way they handled the XP as well in Destiny was at the beginning of the week, you'd get bars of experience that were worth 80,000 experience, which you could earn bright engrams from, which were cosmetic rewards.
Right.
And people found out that actually it's scaled depending on what you were doing. If you're doing quick events, then it would tell you that you're earning X amount of XP, but you weren't earning anywhere near that. You could earn up to you could earn down to 5% of it if you'd done many public events in a row. And then they were like, okay, yeah, we shouldn't have done that probably. So then they were like, yes, we're stripping away the scaling. And then they doubled the XP per level, so it was 160,000 instead, but didn't communicate that either. It's just like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Just what is going on? Everybody's just like, oh yeah, we know what's good for the company, and then it's like, nope, I don't think you do. It's just,
no,
it's all over the place right now. You guys might want to try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
What games have you been having fun with recently?
So on I picked up South Park: The Fractured Butthole, but it's honestly it's actually a pretty fun game just because I used to watch the show when I was younger, and then I'm always a fan of just turn-based games. So it's kind of doing figuring out the strategy for that and playing that a lot. It's been really fun and enjoyable. I played it on PC just because they were having a deal with it on Steam at one point. And yeah, no, it was just a lot of fun. I thought I'd kind of play it for an hour or so, and then go play something else. And then I realized that I've been playing it for 8 hours, and I think I've put a collective of 30 hours into that game so far. And I'm like, geez, that is definitely a lot of time to be putting into a game. And because I usually don't put high numbers into games anymore, just because I've been busy with work and all that fun stuff. So there was that, and then Black Friday there was a sale for Horizon Zero Dawn, because I think it's normally $50 now, but it was on sale for 30 or something like that.
Oh, nice.
So I picked it up, and then because everyone, as soon as the game came out, they're like, you gotta play this game. Why haven't you played this game yet? Play this game. And it looked good, but at the same time I was like, it's $80. I can't justify spending $80 on this game right now. Even though everyone's told me about it, it's I'm busy, I have to prepare for RTX, work is just kicking off, so I gotta spend time on that. I'm doing my boxing, so I gotta focus on that as well. I can't just spend $80 on a game. So I bought it. I was like, I might as well try it out. Oh my goodness, I missed out. I will admit that the story is really smart, and the way they approached it is in a very smart way. The setting really takes place in a post-apocalyptic future, but it's a very different form of a post-apocalyptic future that we're normally used to. Because we're normally used to everything being in ruins and just mass anarchy and everything. The way they handled it was imagine the world reset and everyone's in tribes again. And technology has evolved into the point where it's almost the same as organic life, and it's so smart. And I'm actually really into the story and figuring out everything. The controls are very I thought originally that at first playing it was a little awkward just because I wasn't used to how everything was set up, but once you get used to it, it's the most fluid. You realize it all just makes sense, and it's the way they kind of have everything set up is genius. I'm having so much fun playing this game.
Cool. It's one that I've certainly looked at and I really want to pick that up, but it's nearly. I'll probably pick it up in a sale or something.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely to buy it outright, you'd have a good time. But if you bought it during a sale, you definitely feel like you got your money's worth for it. It is only, unfortunately, it is only a single player game. So I mean, there's that situation. So it's you can't really do much with it afterwards. But yeah, definitely, if you could pick it up the next time it has there's a sale going on, I would highly recommend doing that.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that because it looks like an enjoyable game. Everything I've heard about it is good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I have to also try to make sure I don't tempt myself to buy a Nintendo Switch, Like
Yeah.
I've been wanting to buy one all year, and I'm like, no,
Mhm.
I can't do it. I want to, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah. I want to play Breath of the Wild
yeah,
and Super
yeah,
Mario Odyssey. I'm just like, oh
yeah.
no.
Those two games, I'm like, oh, I want to like purchase it, but then I was like, oh, I don't know if I should get the cartridges. And then I found out that they opened the eShop so you could actually digitally download all of it. I'm like, don't tell me this. This is the worst situation you could.
Yeah. Yeah. Rachel's brother has a Wii U. And Super Mario 3D Land, I think.
Yes, yes.
And like, I'm like, oh, I really want to play that. So
That honestly,
maybe
that's a
we'll
good
be
game.
borrowing
That's a good game because I used to have that. Like I have a Wii U as well, and I had
Mhm.
Super Mario 3D Land. It's fun.
Yeah.
Like
I think the thing about it is that like it looks like it would be fun for multiplayer as well,
oh yeah, definitely.
and like especially like on the couch because those are like the most fun kind of games that Rich and I play. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And then if you have like, he's probably gonna play like he's probably gonna play with or he has the tablet. The tablet's okay. I know a lot of people didn't like it just because it was kind of massive, but
Mm-hmm.
really the tablet was just sort of the Switch. Like it's about the same size or a
Yeah.
little bit smaller, but it's the exact same thing. So um, the only terrible part is like you have to stay in the same room to sort of play like the game as where the system is.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I had a lot of fun playing that game, especially with like the tablet controller. That game and Super Smash Brothers. Like I played those games till no end on that system. It was so good.
Cool.
Yeah. So I definitely say if you could try to like grab that from Rachel's brother, I would highly recommend doing it.
Yeah. I think I would. What was the thing? Oh yeah. Yes. Okay. One last thing to talk about, and that is this year in music. Woo!
Yeah. Oh man.
So yeah, this year I don't really know what I listen to the most. I definitely listen to like quite a few musical things,
Right.
like the Moana soundtrack and the Wicked soundtrack and things like that. But like the album that stuck out to me the most was an album called Reflections of a Floating World
Okay.
by a band called Elder, and it's like a really prog rock kind of album.
Okay.
Really heavy, but yeah, like massive sounds. 6 tracks on the album, and it's over an hour long. So you know,
Oh man.
those kind of like winding, long, guitar-y, nonsensey kind of songs.
Right.
And that was like the album that made the biggest impact on me. And then there's also like the new Neck Deep album that came out as well. I think it's called The Peace and the Panic. So it's just a really solid pop punk album. And yeah, that's probably my favourite album of the year. I don't use Spotify, so I don't have like the statistics that everyone else has got from like using Spotify.
Right.
I can't figure out how to get them from Apple Music. Maybe I'll try and figure that out over the next few days. But yeah, like I don't know. I know what I've been listening to. It's been a lot of stuff. I've tried to listen to as many different albums as I can.
Definitely.
And there's been some that have like really stood out, like And Then Came the Dust by Magenta Harvest. Like that's a really, really solid, really ridiculously heavy album, but it's really, really good. Like really solid. So yeah. I don't think if there's much else that stands out. Oh no, the other one that stands out is the new Kesha album because it's just fantastic.
Really?
It's a really good album. It's a really good album. Yeah.
All right, I definitely need to check that out because I haven't heard anything really about the Kesha album.
It's amazing.
Huh.
I've listened to it so much. That actually might be the album I've listened to the most this year.
Oh wow.
I think it came out in September because I know I was listening to it a lot when I was working on my assignment. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really, really good album.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah. How about you? What was like your music year like?
It's been pretty interesting just because I guess before I used to listen to a lot of music when I was like at work and I guess like walking around because when I was living in the condo and I was at my old job and everything, I was a 5-minute walk from work and I was in downtown Toronto, which means there's like food everywhere. There's like places to go. So I would just kind of put like a lot of instrumentation albums on and kind of like listen to like just soundtracks and everything. But this year, because I've been like my job is a lot more of me driving around and meeting people. I kind of like listen to a lot of the stuff on the radio. So when I actually listen to things, it's usually like when I'm like working out or I'm like doing something. So I realized this year especially like there's been a lot of just I guess I've been listening to a lot more of like playlists and things that have been going on. So my music genre hasn't been as vast as it normally is. But yeah, so I do have Spotify, and it mentioned that I listened to 13,889 minutes of music, which
Awesome.
yeah, it's pretty solid. Like I know it's a lot lower than most of like my friends and even my sister. I think my
Uh-huh.
sister logged in like 32 hours or even like 64 hours or no, sorry, 64,000 minutes of music, which is
Okay.
like crazy. Like I don't even know how many. I think that's it's just ridiculous.
Hmm.
And then they also mentioned in the app that I skipped 350 songs this year, which I feel like is
That's not bad,
it's not bad.
considering like basically what I think the maths works out is you've listened to about 300 hours of music,
Yeah,
and so that's nearly an hour a day, and to only skip like less about one song a
song a day.
day, that's
Yeah.
like, well, that's really good.
Yeah, and it's cool just kind of seeing these things because another one of my friends, he's been like he listened to about the same hours of music. Actually, I think I have his stats here. Like
Mhm.
he listened to 80,000 minutes of music, which I don't even know what the math is on that,
Mhm.
but he only skipped 171 songs. Like how do you like that means he skipped a song. If he skipped a song a day, it would only be from January to June. Like it's like it's so weird just and that's what I love about the statistics and everything, just kind of figuring out all these metrics and everything.
Yeah.
They kind of gave like they guess your age and they're like based on the average groups that people kind of listen to. So
Mhm.
they guess my age correctly, but they're like, yeah, you listen to this set of music, which the average listener is 24, and you listen to
Mhm.
this type of music where the average listener is 42. So based on all that, we think you're 26, and I'm like, oh wow, you guys are pretty smart.
Got it right.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's just like that sort of stuff, and then they create two playlists for you. Last year it was one. This year it's two. One is your top 100 songs that you listen to the most this year,
Mhm.
and then another one is they basically created a curated playlist of the type of music you listen to, and they
Mhm.
put it all in one playlist of songs that they think you'd like. So I was like, I saw that second one, and I was like, you know what? They like the algorithm's probably really off. Like I know what I like. I've listened to this whatever. Like I don't even know these artists. Let me just put this on shuffle and hear it. And like 8 songs in a row, I was like, this is the greatest playlist I've ever heard in my entire life. This is
Nice.
like every single song. Like I didn't even know. Like there was like some R&B artist out of Prague who
Mhm.
they played, and I was like, I don't even know how to pronounce this person's name. And I heard it, and I was like, she is my new favorite. Okay, let
Mhm.
me follow this. Let's see the next time she's doing concerts in the U.S. or Canada, because
Mhm.
I need to go see her. This is ridiculous. And yeah, I kind of talked about it with other people as well, just because I'm a weirdo, and not only do I have Spotify, but I have Tidal and Apple Music.
Mhm.
So I use all three streaming services.
Mhm.
But that's because I know certain songs are only available on certain platforms.
Okay.
So, like, because if you try looking up certain songs on Spotify, you might just see them grayed out. Same with Apple Music, like some of them will
Yeah.
be grayed out, and
Mhm.
titles the same way. But they will all be on the other, like the other streaming app. So if I have
Yeah.
all three, I have all the songs, which is the
Yeah.
best. But
Nice.
when I was talking about that, about just sort of the aggregates with a friend, he mentioned that there's an app which I just actually looked up right now. It's called Music Stats. It's available for the like iOS devices, and it's also for the Play Store. It's free, and it does the exact same thing that Spotify does. It tells you like your total play count, your total skip count, time spent, number of songs. It also tells you the different genres you listen to, how many playlists are there, and it gives you like all this stuff. So I definitely say check that out because I'm probably like January 1st I'm gonna download it and then see what my stats are for like those type of songs and everything and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So,
I think I might move over to Spotify in like the new year.
Nice.
Although I'm not sure because my phone's falling apart. But,
fair enough.
Well, I need to make sure it's angled correctly so it'll charge. It's a bit of a nightmare.
But, yeah, that's the worst because then it's no, but definitely Spotify's been, in terms of payment and everything. I feel like Spotify has the easiest setup because now they're like, oh yeah, you could either go month to month, or you could pay at the beginning of the year, or we could set you up with a family plan where if you have more than one person on it, it's a lot cheaper. And everyone has their own independent playlist, kind of like how Netflix does it. So nothing really bleeds over. So yeah, it's definitely it's really good.
Cool. Awesome. Things to think about.
Definitely.
So Shoban, where can we find you across the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at Nabos. Well, usually if you look up NABOHS on anything, that's 9 times out of 10 that's me. On the Rooster Teeth website, I'm Shoban. I haven't really been posting a lot of stuff on there, but I'm still on.
No one has.
That's fair enough. I do know they're launching the new one soon, right? The newer website.
They're supposed to be.
So we'll see. But yeah, I'm still there, kind of like looking around and reading and kind of commenting on stuff. So I'm Shoban on there, so look me up. But yeah, just at Nabos or at Shoban, and I'll be there.
Awesome. I can be found across the internet at Destroy Topham or at Ether. Hopefully there'll be some music coming out at some point. I don't know when. Yeah. I'm working on stuff, so that's cool. Thank you for being my guest this week, Shoban.
Thank you for having me, man. It's always fun just kind of like sitting down and catching up with you on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it's good. I enjoy it a lot. Thank you everyone for listening. Have an exciting week. Goodbye.
Bye.